So this is your new episode of Who the Hell Asked for This?
Oh, I love that movie. White Man Can't Jump.
I'm so glad you've seen it.
I love
oh my
that
God,
movie.
I love you.
It's such a great movie.
I just when I read this article, I got so sad that I went and watched it again, and I almost started crying because I know it's going to be so
Jack
bad.
Harlow.
So Jack Harlow to star in White Men Can't Jump reboot.
Are you okay?
Wow, dude. What an episode.
You can't.
You soulless creature.
You can't do this movie in 2022. You cannot.
Have you
Not
seen
well.
this guy, Jack Harlow?
Yes,
he's the biggest cornball
Yeah.
in the history of mankind.
Okay, so White Men Can't Jump is an absolute classic from the year 1992, starring Wesley Snipes as Sidney Dean and Woody Harrelson as Billy Hoyle. Jack Harlow ain't no Woody Harrelson.
Hell no.
And whoever the hell you get to play Sidney Dean ain't no Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is a once-in-a-lifetime talent in a weird way.
Jack Harlow is essentially a real-life version of Malibu's Most Wanted. Like, he's that guy in real life. And, like, that guy is supposed to play, like, a stuck-up white guy that plays basketball.
Like in the movie,
I mean, he wasn't stuck up.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
If anything, it's so. Also, you've got Rosie Perez as his
she was
girlfriend,
awesome, yeah.
and it's so good. And it's so. First of all, okay. I'll read a little bit and then I'll tell you why this won't work. So it says 20th Century's White Men Can't Jump reboot will feature Jack Harlow's acting debut.
Dear God.
No previous experience. They're just like, hey, you're perfect for this role of this. You know what it is? Is like they forget sometimes that these movies that they made in the past mean a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now this is a movie. If you look on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 77% tomato meter and a 68% audience score. Sure, that's pretty average.
White Man Can't Jump?
Yep.
No way.
It's got a pretty average score. But this movie was a cult classic.
The movie's
I guarantee you, everyone in the world our age, even if they haven't seen it, remembers the cover of that movie. Right? Of them standing,
Not the cover. I remember the movie.
But okay, well, you've seen it. But I'm saying if you're like me and you spent your whole life roaming video stores at Blockbuster when you were younger, you would have seen the cover to this movie. It's Wesley Snipes and it's Woody Harrelson standing next to each other. So it's just it's his acting debut. That's your first red
Mistake
flag.
number one.
Okay, so Deadline reports that Harlow will play the role originally portrayed by Woody Harrelson. The fact that it's not Woody Harrelson, that is a red flag. In the original film, one of the two leads alongside Wesley Snipes. Andy you know who loves Wesley Snipes? Andy, who works here.
Wesley Snipes rules.
He's the good.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen this movie, or you haven't seen Blade, especially Blade 1, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of sadness.
You know I haven't seen Blade?
Really?
We'll watch it.
Cool.
Oh my God, do you want to watch the anime version of Blade?
No.
Oh.
Thank you.
But thanks for asking.
Her. Oh my goodness.
It's good too, the animation.
But
I'll watch the first one and then I'll
Okay.
watch the anime.
okay, so
Politician Day.
these are two actors who work so well together, but
Yeah.
were also extremely gifted actors
Yeah.
in their own right, right? So
is Rosie Perez.
So it says exactly. And first of all these characters, they won't allow them to be like they were in this movie because they're going to be calling them stereotyped.
Yeah.
They're going to tell them that Rosie Perez character can't be loud and boisterous. They're going to tell the number one tenet of this movie is the trash talking between basketball players. So in this movie, Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson's characters are basically pool sharks on a basketball court. And one of the hallmarks of schoolyard basketball, or at your local court, is mad trash talking, endless trash talking. Your mom jokes here, your mom jokes there. Endless trash talking. In the era of I'm offended by everything, in the era of you can't say that because you're hurting me, this will not work.
Mm-hmm.
It will not work. Especially because I wouldn't doubt if with a dude like this, if they try to go PG-13, I say we literally boycott.
Hey,
I don't advocate for boycotting much because I think it's a stupid fool's errand, and it is a fool's errand, but this is making me angry.
Number one, Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes are two of the best actors of their generation.
They are.
And you're gonna give, and it's a movie that had it not had actors like this would have been hokey as hell.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, with a name like White Men Can't Jump, you
Right.
think it's extremely racially charged. It's not. There's race that plays as kind of a background character to it. My favorite part is the part where Billy Hoyle plays Prince for Sidney Dean. I'm sorry, Jimi Hendrix for Sidney Dean in the car, and Sidney's like, "You guys can listen to Jimi Hendrix, but you can't hear him."
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a whole thing, but it's done in a way that was just so good for its time. It's not preachy.
It's classy.
It's classy, and it doesn't dominate the conversation of the movie. Both of the characters are flawed. Both of the characters come from poverty. There's no talk about one having a better life than the other. The fact of the matter is they're both struggling, and they come from different circumstances, but they unite around basketball and the need to try to overcome the obstacles in front of them.
When this episode's done, I just want to show you a Jack Harlow YouTube video.
I know who he is.
So I can break your
I know who he
heart.
is. Why do you think I picked this?
Okay,
I know who he
I'm
is.
just like-
So it says, though Harlow has not acted professionally, the filmmakers had a lot of confidence in the musician's transition into acting based on a powerful audition. Now look, I'm going to be diplomatic here and say I'm open to being proven wrong.
Yeah.
I have exactly 0% faith that will happen here, but if I am, God bless. That's fine.
Mean, I'll become a fan of you for life.
You know, the
if you,
director-
change me on this.
The guy who made this is the same guy who made Blue Chips, which is another basketball movie starring Shaq that I really like. It's weird as somebody who never played basketball. I played hockey and baseball. I loved. Did you ever see the movie The Sixth Man?
No.
Where the God. Okay. The Wayans brothers play basketball, and one of the brothers dies, and then like helps him as a ghost to win games.
No, that sounds pretty dope.
It's really
Wayne's brother movies are awesome.
Yeah, it's
They're
incredible.
funny as hell.
Or it's one of the Wayans brothers, and the other one's like Kadeem Hardison or something like. I don't remember. It's like one Wayans brother, and then the other one. It's like Marlon, and then I don't know who plays the other brother. But so, White Men Can't Jump came out in 1992. The world was a different place in 1992. When you watch this movie, there is so much. Like, see, look at that. Is the IMDb on there?
Yeah, look at what he-
look
like-
at that cover. That cover is iconic. That is like,
Yeah.
and
Jacked as hell, Wesley
just,
Snipes.
I know, right? Like, it's just the whole movie is him being really good at shit talking.
Yeah.
And Woody Harrelson's kind of like Billy Hoyle's kind of got this weird charm about the way he does it.
By the way, the best callback. The best thing about the fighting game community is the shit talk.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
that's one of the reasons I
Without
wanted to.
the shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. It's a different time. This will not work. I'm sorry if I'm being closed-minded here, but this will not work in current year. I have a feeling that race will end up dominating the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
It shouldn't have. The term "white men can't jump" should just refer to that character and one single generalization that Wesley Snipes' character makes about Billy Hoyle. That's all that should matter within the title of the movie. But in the year 2022, with the screenwriters working today, with the dominating narrative of culture within Hollywood, there's no way it will be left at that.
It'll be a propaganda
It will
fest.
be, yes, exactly. It will not be good. It will be horrible. So, whoever's idea it was to revive this was awful. They said in the article that one of the things that they said made it like Harlow like a good cast member was that he had like a strong audition as far as playing basketball. Which I looked up the original movie, they had to train for like months to play basketball so that the games when they're on camera look natural, so it doesn't look like it's choreographed. Which to their credit, it doesn't.
You generally have ruined my whole day.
I know.
With this episode, I'm like,
It's
so in my head
I'm like,
right
hey,
now.
so here's all the things that are gonna ruin your childhood.
I love how you were like, oh, this was to ruin my heart.
Yeah, I didn't know you'd even seen this movie.
Oh, God.
When I saw this one, I go, why? I thought that one was. I thought they just wouldn't touch that one because they like get along at the end, and that just seems like something they don't want to do.
It's such a great movie.
Not to mention, like they even were ahead of their time. Like in this one, in the original movie, Billy Hoyle is gambling. He's definitely got gambling problems. His relationship is a mess.
Yeah.
Whereas
They're real people.
Yes, they're really. Sidney Dean is
Having real conversations, you know, it's a timepiece. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just they can't do it, man. It's just not going to work.
No, they're gonna be like, Like at some point you're gonna hear Latinx in it, and it's gonna be.
All sorts of that
You're
stuff.
gonna
So,
hear privilege. You're gonna hear.
released in 1992, White Men Can't Jump was written and directed by Ron Shelton. It stars Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson as a pair of basketball street hustlers, with the cast also including Rosie Perez. Gosh, she was so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Tyra Farrell, like his like Woody Harrelson's.
She was my favorite in the whole
Woody
movie.
Harrelson's like the Billy Hoyle story with his girlfriend in that movie is timeless. Like a dude who she gives him 1,000 second chances, and then finally at the end, she leaves him for good, and he realizes the error of his ways. He just realizes it too late. It's classic. It's human. It's not based on race. It's not based on anything other than a human struggle of two people in a relationship. And there's no way they will be able to tell a story that deftly with that much class in 2022. They can't do it.
With this guy, Jack, whatever.
Yeah. So it says they got a quote from Harrelson. It says, "No, I think that's really cool. They're doing that, but I mean, yeah, I can't see reprising that role or even a cameo." So what he really means is, I want nothing to do with this.
I can't wait for the show to get bigger, so like guys like Jack Harlow can respond to us like trashing on him, be like, "Oh, y'all, I'm actually gonna do great."
Dude, if he does good, I will be the first to. You know how much I'm like.
Same.
I always give people the benefit of the doubt. Like if you give a good performance,
I want things to be good.
I will compliment you. And my biggest issue isn't even my issue with Harlow isn't him. My issue with Harlow is the lack of experience. Like that is so 2022 to not to cast someone.
Mine's him because so when you hear a title like White Men Can't Jump,
yeah,
you're thinking you're gonna get like a hokey white guy.
yeah.
He was not.
He was not.
Woody Harrelson was not a hokey
In fact,
white
the whole
guy.
part of it is that he kind of hustles Wesley.
Yeah.
He hustles Sidney Dean by pretending to be hokey at the
Literally,
start of the movie.
The point is that he is not.
Yeah, it's that he plays a hokey.
Yeah.
That somebody who can't play basketball.
It's a
to hustle money.
performance.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And they won't give the character that much depth in the remake.
I hope
It says it doesn't have a release date yet. My hope is that it ends up on the floor. We don't need this movie made. You're like, I give you guys a lot of leeway, man. You can ruin a lot of things, but don't ruin White Men Can't Jump. You've already ruined Mighty Ducks by trying to bring that back and it didn't work. Just leave it alone, man. Just leave. Miracle, you should watch this movie. It's
really good.
It's on Hulu. It's really good. Like it will actually surprise you because I don't know how often you watch stuff that's that old, but you're going to see topics that are relevant today done with so much more grace and care and so much more realism that it will actually be shocking to you.
This is a timeless film.
It is.
Well, I only know the title, but I didn't know what the movie was.
I think everyone knows that. It's funny. That title entered like pop culture lexicon. Like as somebody like in skating, people would often, because that was like one thing I was known for was being able to jump high on skates to do tricks up to high obstacles. And that quote would be thrown around all the time at people about, like, who knew white men could jump? It's like that is part of culture, even if the movie isn't in your watch list.
And by the way, despite all the trash talk, like the cool thing about that movie is like in a world where meritocracy still exists.
Yeah.
They're actually impressed by the guy playing basketball well.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they admit it, and then he gets hustled back by some, and then when he gets hustled back, they do nothing but trash talk one another.
Yeah.
As
you would.
That's just the way these things are. So it's just, I have no faith that they'll be able to do this well. Like beyond anything, there will be the trash talk will be like, you're dumb and you're not good at basketball.
You know what? You don't respect Latinxes.
That's what they will. That's what they will say to you.
Essentially.
If you were in the movie, that's what they would say to you.
What, to me?
That's what that's what you would say to me. And that if this movie was White Men Can't Jump featuring Dane and Brett,
That'd be awesome.
That would be you saying that to me.
Wait, would you be the Wesley Snipes?
He would technically be the Wesley.
I can't. I don't think, but
Can you be like a sassier version?
You can't be sassier than Wesley Snipes in this
Nah.
movie. It's the sassiest.
he rules.
Yeah.
He rules. Wesley
I
Snipes
don't-
rules.
Yeah. I just love him in Blade. Maybe I should watch this.
Dude, it's good.
you
It's like a good movie.
It's a legit good movie.
I'm
so-
just shocked that the audience score is that low.
Yep. I think I was more shocked that the critic score was that high in the 70s, but it's just we'll see. Well, I'm going to keep my eyes on this one, but I have very little in the way of faith that this will work out. I guess
Yeah.
is the best way to say about it. So I'm going to move on. And since we're going to put this in the review, so they talk about there was a rating that Reacher did really good in the ratings. I'm just drawing attention to this again because I want to see shows like this that do really well. Like in an age where me and Dane have to cry for an entire episode over new shows and new things being remade that ruin our childhoods and are just bad. Like, I just want to discuss something that's actually good.
I feel like we're the only generation that does not want to be pandered to.
I don't want to
Please
make something new.
stop.
Yes. Or if you're going to pander, do it better.
Yeah.
So basically they talk here. It says, by almost every measurable metric, Amazon Prime's Reacher is a massive success. The show dominated social media conversation from the moment it started, streaming, mainly because it's one of Amazon Prime's best shows. Author Lee Child, the mind behind Jack Reacher book series, was in tears by the finale of the first season. Wow, if that's true, that's impressive. I read articles like that all the time where like this person was moved. It sounds like PR, but
It's the biggest clickbait article I've ever heard, but sure.
If it's true, good for them. And the second season is already announced, which got the best reaction out of a leading man, Alan Ritchson. But new numbers officially declare that Reacher was a bigger hit than we thought, and that's why I wanted to cover this. Nielsen revealed streaming numbers for shows that aired from January 31st to February 6th. And Reacher landed at number 2 on the top 10 list. The only show that had attracted more streaming numbers than Reacher was Ozark, and Ozark is a very big established streaming
awesome
property.
show.
Which had dropped the first of its fourth and final season, the first half of its final season on Netflix on January 21st. So it makes sense that fans of that already popular series would be binging the 7 episodes that were available to them, maybe even while watching the previous seasons to catch up on it. So they explain why that show had a built-in fan base that bolsters those numbers, which makes perfect sense. Reacher, however, only had its first season, which consisted of 8 new episodes, and yet it still managed to outperform programs like Hulu's Pam and Tommy, wow, Netflix's Sweet Magnolia, and the Book of Boba Fett. That's a big thing to beat Book of Boba Fett, because nobody cared about Book of Boba Fett. But like I would read all these articles from like Screen Rant, and it always felt like forced. Like nobody actually cares about this right now because Disney's lost all their goodwill. So it says, where was I? Okay, so Netflix's Ozark. So it was second to Ozark. And then we go down here and it says, no, the producers behind Reacher can prepare this show's second season, knowing that what they did the first time worked. That's what's important. Do not lose focus on why this show was popular. Watch reviews, listen to your fans, look at written reviews of the show, figure out what it was that people liked about it, and stick to that.
Season 2 is always the most crucial season for any show.
It is.
Any show.
A lot of good shows have an average first season and really come into their own in the second season.
Or
other shows have a great first season and don't realize what it was about that show that people liked, and then they veer off in another direction and it ruins it. One thing that does worry about me here, it says, even though Reacher co-star Willa Fitzgerald improvised one of the show's coolest scenes, she is not expected to return. That makes me sad because I liked her. She had a really good dynamic with Alan Ritchson in the show, and she was a good example of how you can do a strong female character without making her over the top powerful. She couldn't just beat up 6 Navy SEALs all at once. She used firearms, she did all this stuff, but she wasn't unbelievable in the role, even though she's a very small woman. So they did it in a way that felt real. She's also romantically connected to him in the series, but it's done in a way that's tasteful, and he actually gets to get the girl these days, and that seems like a very few and far in between thing for them
to imagine,
to allow them to do that. There was even they did there was a nude scene done in like the 4th episode that was very tastefully done, which I am surprised didn't get reeing. In fact, it probably will get reeing from feminists if they do it a second season, because now the show is developing a fan base, so now it's ripe to be picked over by the social locusts.
Social locust.
So we will see, and I'm excited for season 2, but I just wanted to cover that before we finish up. And then also this one last thing, which is Microsoft and Bloober team suspend sales in Russia following Ukraine invasion. So this is not hard to believe. We saw it. We discussed it with Warner Brothers and all the studios that pulled from Ukraine, social media companies. Everyone's pulling stuff from Russia right now. And I just thought you as a gamer would, appreciate the discussion of this. It says initially CD Projekt Red, owned by CG Projekt as GOG. Is it GOG? GOG? It's GOG, right?
Oh, no.
Released the condemnation of Russia, along with others in the Western gaming industry. The recent invasion on Ukraine and our friends and neighbors left us shocked and outraged. They tweeted, in solidarity with all the victims of this act of aggression. The tweet continues, the group has decided to support humanitarian aid efforts by donating 1 million to a group that they list here. I just thought, so this is going to every industry now. It started on social media, then it went to, it started on movies, then it went to social media, and regular standard news outlets are no longer broadcasting in Russia. There's like rollerbladers that I know from Russia that are only able to post right now stuff on Instagram because of VPNs.
Yeah.
So that's like I was like, there's this really good young blader named Savison who's really he's really growing within the industry. And he's got a huge following because he does these ridiculous videos because it's like the middle of the winter. He's wearing like snow pants and he builds obstacles to skate out of like parts that has nothing to do with something you would normally skate. And he's got this great following, and he hadn't been posting for a while, and he just started posting again. And somebody said Russians are allowed to post on Instagram, which came across as dickish to me. So
it is super dickish.
He's probably getting like all this unnecessary like hatred for something he has no connection to, and he just responded VPN. So who knows? Like
that sucks, man.
So that's just they talk about basically these projects are suspended there. I think eventually this will all they'll quietly re-enter these markets when things have died down in the news cycle. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in today. So I don't know. Brutal stuff. So all in all, a very soul-crushing episode.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Sorry.
Just cry. Somebody will want.
Sometimes we have laughs, here.
Other days, I break everybody and make them cry tears of pain and sadness.
You guys should. Brett's so sweet to me before the episode's like, "Hey, Dane,
it's gonna be great.
See you at 105 upstairs."
Hey, I give you the articles in advance, so you got no excuse.
I know. I just didn't.
He didn't read them.
I did read them.
He didn't know how much they were gonna hurt him until
the white man can't jump. I guess I didn't see Jack Harlow. I saw there was gonna be a remake, and I was like, huh. And then I saw the face of the actor and saw who he was. I was like, dear,
look, it's less charismatic.
God in heaven.
It's less charismatic Post Malone. In fact, just cast Post Malone.
I can't stand. I mean, he's okay. I don't know. I don't want to hate on everyone, but like
Post Malone sang at the Pokemon
he's
25th
like a sweet boy.
anniversary concert.
He's also super like pro 2A and has like.
He seems like a sweet boy. That's why I'm like, but like.
He's probably your age. He's probably older than you.
Malone?
Wait, let me see.
He's got to be in his early 30s. Maybe he's in his late 20s. Miracle's checking on. We're finishing up the show, and Miracle's doing live fact checking.
Yeah,
26. He's actually younger than Dane.
Yeah. And then Dane's comments are accurate. All right, Dane, I am sorry for breaking your spirit today.
I don't think you are.
I'm a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just that sad.
A little bit.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.